So how
We're
you
out
doing
here. What's up?
today, man?
Dude, I'm okay. I'm feeling a bit better now. Today was a slow ass morning, but it's all good.
Yeah.
How are you
Are,
guys? How's it going?
we're doing well. So is that the room that you work out of there?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Awesome. So
It
tell us about
is. Okay. It's actually an interesting story. So the my wife and I and our kids, we have two boys. We were in a condo, like a 700 square foot condo for a while, and I was working out of a commercial space that my best friend owned. Um, and then COVID hit and like we couldn't work and that sucked. So I took like my I had like my Mac Pro on the table on our dining room table with my screen and headphones and like I had like I think at the time I had like a D box for monitoring and I had a sub pack and like I did all my mixes from my table and at my dining room and we're all stuck in this tiny fucking condo. And so my wife's like, "All right, we got to get a house. We need to like upgrade." And so like we were looking at places where I could build out a spot because someone needed to be home with the kids while cuz COVID we like the kids couldn't go to school, it was all online. She still
Right.
had to work. And so we just started looking around. And I was looking for a spot specifically so I could have a setup and build out a room. Um and it just so happened that like the owner of the place was also closing up because of COVID. Like things just, got rough and COVID really hit hard, hit a lot of studios really hard. So yeah, we found this place and I was like, this has like of course we're on Zillow, right? We're like, this place has a lot of potential to have a setup here. We came to open house. It was great. We put in an offer, we lost it. That fell through. We were next in line. And so, yeah, we landed this place. And it's funny, I actually designed this room like identical. Like this actual design was done before we even closed on the house. Like I had it all done up in like a CAD program. And like, yeah, it was done up before we even closed on it. And it's yeah. And I just built it like I would say we were here about a month and then I started construction and then the main framing and all of that and all the treatment was done probably a couple weeks after that. And then like doing the cosmetic stuff took a little bit. Getting the diffusers, getting the clouds done took a little bit longer. But yeah, we're here and I'm gonna rip out the clouds and rip out the ceiling here in the next month or two and treat the whole ceiling how I want it to be done. So it's always a work in progress, right?
Well, it looks beautiful.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm stoked on it. I love it. It's the best sounding room I've ever worked in. That's for sure. And I've been in some cool rooms. Uh,
That's cool.
but
I'm glad you're happy with it. What are you monitoring with in there?
right. So now I'm on ATC SCM 25s. I have two stereo subs. They're hi-fi subs though. I don't really dig pro audio subs though. I just don't feel like they're that great. So these are ones that were recommended to me by some mastering friends. Um and then I have a Trinov and an Avocet. So Trinov kind of just finishes off the room. The room already sounds insanely good. There's just a couple things here and there, and the Trinov kind of just cleans those up. And then that's it. Yeah. Oh, and I have a pair of NS10s set up too that I kind of just flip between here and there, and those are
So
fun.
so in your space, you're not doing too much tracking, so the turn-off system doesn't really
Zero.
bother.
So I fully stopped engineering and even producing in January of 2017. So 6 years I've been mixing only now. And I do some mastering work, but I don't really advertise myself as a mastering engineer. I'm able to. I do a lot of it, but I want to be known as a mixer, so that's what I push.
Hey, totally understood, man.
Yeah.
So that's cool. You have a home base now, and you feel good there. And
Yeah, although I do miss the separation of work and home. That's the only thing I miss. If I had a detached, if this room was detached even 10 feet off of the actual home, I think I'd be just a little bit happier. But it's hard to complain. When I'm sitting in a room like this, it's really hard to complain because it's like I don't know. I feel like an asshole if I'm being like, oh, it could always be better. If I'm like, dude, this room is insane. I would have dreamt this room 15 years ago. I would have been like, there's no way I'd ever have something like this. So yeah, I'm fortunate, but sometimes I can be a little bitch and always want something better, right? Grass is always greener type of thing.
So, one thing that I was curious about, you're always posting on the internet about how you work so fucking fast and you're just knocking these things
Oh,
out like left and right, right?
yeah. Yeah,
You,
that's true.
so when an artist like sends you over a song and they've got like a real drum set in it, how long does it take you to completely replace their drums with samples?
I mean, Trigger makes it pretty fast, right?
Yeah, right.
But
No,
no,
I'm just
like,
talking shit. You are one of the internet's greatest trolls. So
Yeah, dude.
thank you.
we had to go after you a little bit. We started
I
off
don't blame you.
on too serious of a foot here.
Yeah.
So how does it
No.
feel, just trolling the shit out of everyone? And can we talk about what you would consider? Usually we do like a top 5 of what like your favorite plugins are in the fucking box and stuff, but I would really just like to know like the top 5 troll moments that you've been involved in or witnessed on the internet in our little community here.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can't even tell you how many years I had people genuinely convinced that I was a flat earther. That one was fun. And then I would sign the signature on it as if I was a bot. It would be Seth.bot. Right. So I'm making these flat earth posts, and then I would like correlate it with mixing. I'll be like, yeah, my mixes are as flat as the earth is, right? And I'd say stuff like that. And it worked. And then it got to the point where I was like trying to make serious posts, and then people were just commenting like flat earth shit on it. And I'm like, okay, like I gotta put an end to this, because like I can't be known as the flat earth guy.
Deftones ever hit you up?
No. Oh, is he a flat earther?
Yeah. Oh, dude, you've
Okay.
never heard about this shit?
No. But he sounds big brain. Let's hear it.
Oh, dude, I was one time at Mates and I got like stuck out in the front of Mates, and fucking Steven Carpenter rolls up and he just went on for like 45 fucking minutes about how the earth is flat and that everything that we've been told is a lie by big media, and you can tell that the earth is flat because when you go on airplanes, they round the bottom of airplane windows because then you can see the curvature of the fake flat earth. And he said that the earth that we live on is like a dinner plate, and that all of Antarctica stretches
Great Ice Wall.
is a big wall that stretches around the whole fucking outside of the dinner plate. And then what we think of as other planets are other continents on the outside of the ice wall. And
Big facts.
he went on, and he fucking told me about like I'm an asshole and I need to take a meter stick out to the goddamn fucking ocean and fucking run it across, and I could go forever, and I just continue to see when does the meter stick bend, Rick? Like, dude, like this whole fucking thing, dude. And then he walked away, and the dude at Macy's like he does that to everybody.
Well, I mean, I wish he was wrong, but like he's got a point to all of it. Damn.
Flat Earth, what else you got?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of more like audio trolls. I don't know off the top of my head. My problem is my memory is so shot that I'm like, I don't even know what I had for dinner 2 nights ago.
Well, I mean, it's hard when you're trolling every day to remember an individual day of trolling.
Well, and to me, they're so insignificant. It's like, oh, said something funny, moving on. What's the snare gonna do if I don't fix it, right? So I'm trolling someone, but I'm already thinking about the mix or a revision. Like I'm not thinking about whatever I'm trolling.
I love that.
No, that's
It's
pretty
true
good.
though. It really is true. Like I don't.
Yeah,
It's
because
just-
you know that someone out there on the internet has like sat with that shit for like 2.5 weeks and like.
Yeah, I
that
can't.
bass
No,
line does
no.
stuff, dude.
The bass line does, right? Are you
Oh,
still
man.
using Nigel? Have you
I
ever-
wish,
You ever have
man.
any 90 bass?
Are you talking
Dude.
about Nigel from the old UAD
Hell
one?
yeah.
Yeah. That's, I have quite a few throwback plugins on my rig, but that is
How? Because like
I have a Pro
the-
Tools 10 rig. That's how.
That's sick. I'm jealous. That is dope. I own 3 of those UAD 1 cards, and like I can't use them on anything. Like I'm on a Mac Studio now, and plus those UAD 1 cards are 32-bit, if I remember right, and like no operating system these days are 32-bit, and so it's like you just can't. Well, I'm sure there's workarounds, but I'm sure as fuck not gonna figure those out. Like
See,
I'm
like,
sure we
my
have
game
tools.
plan My game plan is I'm gonna just buy a Mac Mini and then just leave my computer there and then just use it as a 32 channel input and output effect
Yeah.
processor.
Yeah, I mean, you
Dude,
could.
that's the
Yeah.
real big DSP right there.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Dude, I loved those though. All of my I had those like Zombass and Texas grind tones. Those were all Nigel. Those were sick.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, yeah. It's so good.
Oh man, those are some throwback
Dude,
zombies.
yeah, Zombass, dude. Alex Wilkinson. Never forget.
Alex,
I moved up to
dude.
Canada and lived with Alex Wilkinson for a little bit.
Dude, I have a pair of his monitors in the monitor graveyard right
Dude,
here.
yeah, the pre-Amphions things.
Yeah,
They're like
yeah,
Amphions
yeah.
before Amphions.
They're right here. I'm giving them to my brother actually because they sound great. I think
That's
they
sick.
sound awesome. My brother's getting into audio. I'm gonna go treat up
it-
his room and give him those monitors.
Is he the same dude who made the D Bleeder plugin?
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Yep, that's a good plugin.
I've actually never used it. Is it sick?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
came out like kind of when I was done working with bands and stuff, so I wasn't really doing live drums that much. So like I never grabbed it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you can't be too heavy-handed with it,
Right.
but it's a nice natural way to take a couple dBs off a hi-hat and a snare drum track, that's for
Ooh.
sure.
I could use that right now. Oh, but I do dig that the Sonics their drum gate thing. I think that one's sick.
Have you ever
Works-
used Trigger as a gate?
It's the best gate.
It's the best gate.
It's the best gate. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know
absolutely.
how I don't know how they fucked up the gate in FG, like in the whole channel strip
Mix
thing.
rack,
Because
yeah.
that's deep bleeder.
Is it?
Yeah. That's their deep bleed circuit. They just fucking stole Alex's code.
Yeah, I mean, whatever's happening
Wow.
in the one from the channel strip one is fucking trash compared to
Yeah.
fucking the one in Trigger.
Yep. I still use it though, because it's there. And sometimes I just like the simplicity of just less clicks, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm maybe 1 out of 10 projects have live drums. Actually, it's a little bit more recently, which has been cool. Like a lot more pop acts are actually doing live drums, and it's been fun. It's cool.
Do you
But
feel like live music's coming back in that sense in a pop?
absolutely, yeah.
Good.
But it's just a matter of time for it to be siphoned back out, right? It's constant cycles between the two. So yeah, and it's very genre dependent, like even like sub genre dependent too. So
Right.
I don't think it'll ever go away, and I also don't think it'll ever fully come back. Like, but we might have more or less depending on the year.
We got to get back to the troll things though. There's so many more.
Dude, you have to remind me of them. I seriously can't remember troll stuff. Obviously, the flat Earth one though. That went on for way too long.
The continuous hate on atoms is always funny.
Is that a troll?
I guess.
Are we talking about Adam's monitors?
Yeah.
Okay. If the continuous hate is that they're extremely fucking bright and will rip your face off, then I got no problem with the trolls.
I hate the transient response on them. It drives me nuts. Like going from Atom A7s, like the original ones, not the X, to NS10s, I was like, what have I been doing for the last several years? Like transients are sick. Like, what is this? And I had no idea. I had no idea that I was just smearing the shit out of them because I just couldn't even hear them. Yeah. So I have like a personal beef with Atoms. But at the same time, if you're just doing like production stuff, I think they rip because they get really loud. They, they're client pleasers. Like they can bump. I think that's cool. But when I'm, mixing, like that's kind of not what I want.
So, but you're now rocking ATC 25s?
Yeah.
How do you like those?
Unreal. They're like end game type monitors. Even though I know they won't be. I know I'll get the bigger ATCs, but I'm still sticking with the ATCs. They sound really damn similar to the bigger ones. I love them. I'm upset. So I went to the blasting room and I sat in their mastering room for a bit because they had the same subs that I do. They and the room sounded almost identical to this one, which was sick. And they had the bigger ATCs in there, and I was like, this is what I've been wanting. But it took me a year to figure out how to get the finances in order to actually buy them. And I'm upset that it took me that long because I wish I would have just put them on a credit card or something, because I'm upset that I took so long to grab them because they're so damn good to me.
So, I mean, I guess it should be a fine time to jump into the top five. So, what's your number one equalizer in the box? What do you like to use?
Okay, are we talking colorful or clean?
You have to pick one.
I would have to go clean and probably just like the stock Cubase one. That's probably used, my most used EQ. It's just the one right on the channel strip, and that's simply because I have a macro to pull it up instantly, and it's not like I don't have to type in anything. What's that one that's on Plugin Alliance now? Like it's like Kirchhoff or something like that.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot. I think that one's cool. But they all kind of just do the same thing, right? Like I try not to get too picky. It's less about if it's a clean EQ, they all do the same thing to me. So whichever one pops up in my head first or whichever one's easiest to grab.
Okay. Okay. But you utilize the stock Cubase one a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because
Okay.
it's 4 bands. I can't overdo too much. And it just does the job, right?
Yep.
Seth, you can talk about make believe plugins. It's okay.
I want to. My
It's okay. It's
No, I'm
okay. If
kidding.
he doesn't
I'm
use it,
kidding.
don't
No,
worry.
No, so my favorite colorful EQ is the Sontech. I'm using it on everything right now. And for like ever since I've gotten the plugin, it's been on every single master, every single mix bus. And I've been using it on my vocal bus as well, because it has something with that top end, man. I don't know what the hell's going on, but I know my ears like it a lot. So I'm just
The
using
topic
it.
sounds pretty good, right?
Not pretty good. It sounds fucking insane. I'm like, I don't know what's happening, and I don't really care. I just know if I turn the knob, I'm like, that's what I wanted it to hear, and it does it. So, yeah.
Hey, I can appreciate that. So, what about compression? What do you like to use as far as your compressor in the box? Gotta pick one.
Oddly enough, I don't compress too much, like on anything. The one that if I were to pick anything, it would be the silver UAD LA2A for sure. It's got that color, that vibe that I want out of an opto. Yeah.
Do you use that on vocals?
Absolutely.
It
Yeah.
sounds so good, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Yeah. And it's just that one. The other ones, they sound good. I just don't care. I'm like, why would I have the one that I want? I'm going to use that one. So that's been my thing is
Oh,
that silver one.
I wholeheartedly agree. It's been sitting on my on my vocal bus for, I don't know, 5-6 years now.
Yeah, it's unreal. And I used to be like, it took me a while to get into the UAD game. Just because I didn't care for their interfaces. I really did not like the conversion on them. I just felt like they broke up way too fast. So I like really held off, and then I got a satellite and grabbed like the ultimate bundle or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I've been sleeping on this. This is sick. I needed this. So yeah, the silver LA2A for sure.
What conversion are you using?
I'm on Antelope stuff now, which it's been a little hit or miss. I'm thinking about what's up.
Is it the software that's giving you shit?
I can deal with the software. So actually, I don't want to say hacked, but I edited some stuff, made some things work. So it's working on my system. What really is doing it is actually the customer support, or lack of, I should say, that's actually driving me away. Because I think the quality of the hardware quality is incredible and it sounds amazing. I can slam those things. But the fact that I can hit them up and never hear back from them, it's kind of concerning. And so it makes me want to look elsewhere. I've been eyeing the Metric Halo stuff, and what else have I been? Probably I've even been looking at like the Burl stuff, but I'm not sure if I want to go that direction yet.
I can't speak more highly of the Metric Halo stuff.
Yeah, they don't miss.
Yeah,
like,
I'm very biased, but I think it is
yeah,
the nicest stuff in the world. And it's definitely one of those things where it leans on the cleaner side. It's much cleaner than a Burl. You know what I mean?
And that's yep. I see a lot of people love the Burl because it has the color, and that's the one thing that's making me go, maybe not though, because my mixes are I do that more clean thing, and I kind of don't want to be. If I want a certain color, I'll add that color. I don't want to be forced into a color, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And who can't strap a pair of Jensens across a mix?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So I've been leaning more towards on the Metric Halo side. Plus the flexibility and the expandability, it seems really appealing. So
Yeah, I mean, you could get, 500 channels of analog inputs if you wanted to, or if you just needed to get like a MADI card so you could go record a live show off a console with your interface, easy to do,
exactly, yeah. So, but my system right now is functioning, and so like, all right, I'm not gonna mess with it until I get to a point where I'm like, okay, I need something else. Because
Well,
right
if
now
you,
I'm currently in the box, so it's not. But I've been eyeing hardware again, so I'm like, okay,
Stay in the box, dog. You already know.
should I? Because I'm like,
well, if you need any help with Metric Halo stuff, I'm here and happy to help you. What are you eyeing out of the box? What is tickling your fancy?
it's
Recall?
no, actually, not at all, not at all. So here's my idea: is I was actually talking to Ryan about this maybe just a couple weeks ago, the 7 Circle Audio preamp stuff that they have.
Okay.
And I
Yep.
think it would be super cool to get like just pairs of EQs. And so, but like very different ones. So like maybe I get 4 of like their SSLJ stuff. I get 2 of their like 1073 type stuff. I get a couple of the API stuff. And what I'm wanting to do is essentially sum different aspects of my mix to different colors, right? So maybe I send my drums and my bass bus to the Neve, but I want to send the melodic instruments to the API and the vocals and effects to the SSL stuff, right? And then I'll sum those together into some sort of summing box. I probably would do like the Sigma or something, or maybe like the SPL.
Didn't
And then
Eric
from
Valentine just make his passive summing box is exactly what you're talking about, I think?
did
Yes.
he?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll need some links to that
Yeah,
because
I got
that
you on
sounds amazing. Please,
Yeah, so
please.
you need 8 channels of preamplifiers, and then it's got different stages where you use those preamplifiers as the gain stages, and then one of the pairs uses the final gain stage. So you have it all
Gotcha.
set up all super nice.
Oh, so he has what I want in one unit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Mm,
you buy his unit, which is completely passive. But what's nice about his is it's got all the features that like fucking suck to wire in the DIY world. So you've got the
mm,
ability to, make like kick and snare. You can have that be a stereo bus, or you can make that a mono bus with like the flip of a switch.
gotcha,
You know what I
gotcha.
mean?
Yeah.
And then it also has the ability, like those buses that all run together, you have the ability to send them all to like the 2 mix bus, and then you can like turn those on and off so you can like you get
Mm,
some shit to play with.
okay.
Favorite limiter in the box.
Oh, I assume you mean like final output limiter
Yeah,
instead
like what
of
you like to get loud with.
elevate 100%.
Hell
And it's
yeah.
just because the clipper in there. I call it a clipiter, right? So it's not, I mean, I never not have the clipper enabled. So yeah.
Who makes Elevate again? Is that Eventide?
Yeah. Well, they bought the company as Newfangled. And so now it's Eventide Newfangled. Yeah.
Okay.
I love it. It's unreal. Like I have not had anything that comes anywhere close to as good as that, in my opinion. Actually, the new JST maximizer is pretty sick because of the clipper that's built into that one. I actually have used it on a handful of things, but that one's real easy to go heavy-handed.
And how loud do you like to get? Like -3?
I actually don't look at the meters. I don't know. I'm still metering with RMS because I just know like the sweet spot of where that is. So like
Which is 0, right?
-6. Well, yeah. Well, shit, man. Some dubstep basically wants it at that. It's crazy. But as
No,
loud
I
as I
get
can
it.
push it without breaking, and sometimes some genres want it to break, so that's fine.
You know that the VU meters work when they go, well,
Yeah. Oh, when they're pinned, it's perfect, right?
yeah,
Redlining's headlining.
absolutely. Absolutely. So, okay, what's your favorite reverb in the box?
Oh, this is a hard one. I love the LX 480 by Relab, but I'm gonna have to go with Seventh Heaven for sure. The Bercasti remake.
Really?
Yeah.
Over the lexicons, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Why?
dig it.
Which
Yeah.
was your favorite in there? I
Uh
owned a Bercasti. And
Okay.
I always felt like the Lexicon was better. The Bricassi just never worked.
Sure. No, I use them for two different things. So I use the lexicon for like mood, like a moody verb. Like I want you to feel it more than hear it. The Bricassi, I want you to hear it more than feel it. So on the Bricassi, I love like the London plate. Some of the wood rooms are sick. Um, but I'm kind of just sticking to the London plate because it sounds so pretty and it's used on so many pop records that it's like very familiar to the listener. So it's like easy to dial in because it's like everyone's heard it for the last however many, decades.
See, I feel like that's the Lexicon A plate is that.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I will say there's one that I think is special inside of the Bricasti, which is the A&M Chambers.
I'll check them out. I don't even fuck with them.
Oh,
So like how I have my reverb set up is like I said, I have the lexicon for like that moody verb, and it's just set and forget. It's always there. If I want that vibe, I just send into it. And then the same with the Bricasti. So
switch 'em.
I need to dig a little deeper.
Switch 'em.
I will switch
So,
them. Okay.
so put the A plate with a big old pre-delay, like 110 millisecond pre-delay. And
I do 150-ish. Yeah.
okay, you feel so start there on the Lexicon, and then on the Bricasti, put on that chamber, and that chamber's like instant Adele record.
Okay. I'm down.
Yeah,
I'm super down.
try it out. Let me know how it goes.
And then a sleeper reverb is the Phoenix Audio stuff, or the Phoenix. What's it called?
Phoenix Verb. You're talking
Yeah, the
about
Phoenix Verb.
you're talking about Native Instruments isotope reverbs, because Phoenix Audio no longer exists and they no longer make any products.
That's right. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
That one. But it's a sleeper. It's so good. For
So
me, that actually makes a real room sound to me.
So do you use the older ones like Phoenix Verb and R2 or whatever, or have you moved
Phoenix.
on to their 22 channel symphonic boy that they got now?
No. Too many buttons.
Yeah,
Nah.
too many buttons. I will say I like the way that Phoenix Verb, when you scroll through the presets and you can like search large.
Yep. It's so easy. But for real though, it's like, yeah. Sometimes the dumbed down stuff is like too dumbed down, like the one knob type things. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of limited. But then also like when there's too many options, it's just like I don't care to like I'm gonna lose my idea and my inspiration if I dig too deep into this. Now, if I was like hardcore sound designer, it'd be a little bit different, but I'm just mixing records. So it's like I'm already thinking 10 steps ahead. I just need to get this one step done now so I can keep moving.
Yeah, I don't feel like I need to have a PhD in reverb to get a reverb sound.
Yeah.
Which one was that? It's not a reverb, but that plugin alliance one, Lisa or whatever like that. Dude, that thing hurts so hard to look at. The Tomo thing, dude.
Yeah. Their dynamic emulation, hardware emulation EQ.
Yeah.
I'm like, I put it on a mix, and I was like, I mean, it's doing something, but
Sounds
I
cool.
can't.
Yeah,
but like, man, it's hard to look at. It is hard to look at.
You ever try putting the Make Believe Parallel 1 processor on a snare drum?
I have not. I put it on like I believe I put it on like a melodic bus, and it was cool because it like did a cool thing. But I should try it on snare.
It says to try it on the snare drum.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking of 3. Is there a parallel 3?
Yeah, 3 and 4 is the one that says put it on like guitars and stuff.
So I guess I haven't tried the snare one yet. I should
try the snare drum. See, I like stuff like that. I turn it up, my snare drum, dope, and makes me feel good, man.
Yeah. No. I'm for those types of things when it like calls for it, and it's like, yeah, I know this thing does that thing well. I like the simplicity in those. Like that's sick. It's good.
Yeah,
good for me.
I'll say for me, it's like what you were saying. There were like 4 knobs I had to turn to accomplish what that does, and now I don't have to turn any of them knobs, which is better.
Is better.
I agree though, but to me, it's like it's just how many processes to get in the way of my ideas, right? So if I can limit those and the amount of those, then sure. If a one knob plugin does that, I'm absolutely going to use it. What the hell? Like why would I make it harder for myself? That makes no sense.
So, what is your favorite delay in the box?
Okay. if I want a moody delay, Soar by JST, it almost feels like a reverb, but that's like one of those feeling, not hearing. If I want to hear something, either just like a stock delay for clean, or like I think Repeater's actually pretty cool by Slate. Well, it's not by Slate, it's by was it
D16.
D16? Yeah, but Slate distributes it through their pass.
Repeater's
I
tight.
think that one's cool. I
Have
think
you
it's
ever
really cool.
Have you ever tried the Decimort plugin?
Oh, by D16?
Yes.
I think I own it, but I don't think I've ever pulled it up.
So
I'm one
that
of those guys. If I'll buy plugins and they'll just sit installed, but like they're just there in case I ever need it. You know, I'm one of those.
that plugin is absolutely great because it recreates the sounds of like MPCs and the SP1200 and a bunch of vintage
Okay.
drum samplers. So it can be wonderful. Like if you're working on a pop songs like you do, I believe, you know, when you have like a bridge and you want to like to put on a 90s vibe and like bring it down a little bit, you can get some real interesting shit coming out of that boy.
So how does that work then? Like what kind of processor is it to achieve those sounds?
It's like a bit crusher, you know what I mean, where it'll be like
Okay.
8-bit
Okay.
or 7
Yep.
bit, you know, but it'll run it like, you know, it's got bit crushing, distortion, and filtering, and you can go fuck with it. But they really
Yeah.
spent a bunch of time coming up with presets that are for those boxes that'll help get
Cool.
you there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Tastefully degrading the audio in a pleasing way.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You know,
Love that.
especially with all like, you know, a lot of people have like what I would consider like big drums going on recently, and then almost like a lot of like British jungly sampley stuff going on with it, you
Yeah.
know?
I
And
do know. Yeah.
yeah, and it helps take that British jungly shit and put it in the box, like that 90s box.
And it's put it in that like confined space. Yeah.
Yeah,
I totally get it. That's cool.
Makes everything sound
Off
like
the
a drum and bass record.
it does.
It's awesome.
It's fucking great, man. You should definitely, if you were talking about D16 plugins, I can't not talk about Decimort.
Okay. Yeah, I'll pull it up. If it sounds like a drum and bass plugin, I have a drum and bass mix that I'm in the middle of right now that I'll I'll slam it on and see what happens.
Yeah, you said you already got it, so you're definitely gonna have to
Yeah.
when this video comes out, comment on how it turned out for you,
For sure. Absolutely. I'm down.
and then comment some troll shit.
Exactly.
Well, I feel like you can't. I mean, you always have to, right? It's kind of just. I didn't know there was an option to not troll. So
Okay, so I want to ask if you've ever gone as far as to create another. Like, do you have burner accounts? Are you out
No.
there?
no.
That thing.
Although that would be a good move, but nah, I don't. I'd rather just own it.
Okay, okay.
No burner accounts. That's too much time. I got to mix. I'm like, I can't be wasting too much time on Facebook and Twitter and stuff.
I feel so bad because you know we took up all this time from you this afternoon, and it's probably like what, like 7.5 mixes you could have knocked out.
No, not at all. Maybe one, maybe.
Yeah. Well, okay, so Seth, you're making content now, right?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Isn't that
Yeah.
Isn't that the funnest? Doesn't it suck? It's terrible. I will mix records over content any day.
Yeah,
See,
I always prefer mixing over content for sure. But
here's the
I'm not
thing.
in.
Is what I found about content is it's a sliding scale. Like you got to put in all this work where it's all like production and hippity dippity, and then you can get to the point where you're just like Rick Beato and Tom Bukovac talking into a camera about fucking nothing, and people pay you money, man. So sign me the fuck on up. I put in the work. I built walls and shit. Content seems way easier.
That's true. That's true. I'm not. I think I'm too early to say if I dislike it or not yet. I'm kind of enjoying it, but I think I'm enjoying trying to figure it out. Like why does this work over this, and why does that work on this platform but not this other one? I think that's kind of interesting to me for some odd reason. I don't know why my brain works this way, but it does. So it's been intriguing trying to just break the code, I guess, and figure out why things work the way they do.
So have you ever thought about writing a book, like the guide to trolling and how to build a career?
How to get 100 comments on your
The-
Facebook in 5 minutes or less.
Yeah.
That was easy. But the problem is people would buy those and then be like, but is the whole book a troll? Should I do the opposite of what the book says? Or do I write the book to be a troll and it's the opposite of what everything, I don't know.
No,
Or
no,
maybe
you
there's
write
two
you
versions. I
write the
don't know.
book completely straight, and the fact that people buy it is the troll.
Is the troll?
Yeah.
Maybe I should. But when the hell am I going to do that? I got to get a ghostwriter for that one.
I'll buy it.
Yeah.
I'm
I just
I'm a
don't.
supporter. I'm a fan. I've been out here in the wings, I literally was talking about it. I was like, this good math shit, Seth Munson's losing this year on the audio trolling.
That's great. Yeah, the good math
yeah.
stuff's hilarious, by the way. Oh my god.
I'll say this for all these motherfuckers out here who tend to, make a living with their ears. They don't want to be told to listen to stuff. I'll fucking tell you that.
That's big facts. Yep.
Use your ears. Wrong. I'm gonna use plug-in doctor. That's my fucking ear.
Yeah, my ear plug-in doctor says that you're an asshole.
By the way, what's going on with that golden a-hole thing? Because that sounds insane. I love it.
It's pretty cool.
That doesn't work all the time. Doesn't work every time, but when it works, holy hell, does it smash?
So tell us what you like about channel strip. How do you typically use it?
I'm mainly just grabbing that EQ. That EQ is insane. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if there's saturation being added to it or something, but it feels like it. But I don't care. That's my thing is I know what my tools do in the sense of how they sound, right? I don't care about the technical things that are happening under the hood. It's irrelevant to me because I know how it sounds. So the top end, especially on that channel strip, just opens up and it's crazy.
It sounds like
especially for pop.
It sounds like a hit record, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
10K. So, I brought up this before in the interview with Colin, and I talked about how it was from, Ken Scott's book, Abbey Road to Ziggy Stardust. But I truly believe in his whole idea that the frequencies that you rely on tend to make up your sound, and everyone wants to talk about surban sound, and everyone wants to disregard 10K on Metro Kalo channel strip. Like, that is not the sound of modern pop records, and
absolutely. Yeah.
It's one of those things where when we made MBEQ, if you turn off sauce, the MBEQ is pretty much just the next iteration of channel strip. The equalizer
I can see that.
The same code as far as what it does. We just have some features as far as how our spectrograph works, and we got notch and stuff like that, which is not in the original channel strip EQ. But it's one of those things that's so funny to me because you got dudes, Maniac or whatever on Gear Sluts out there saying like, I'm very disappointed these things that you are seeing in this make-believe equalizer, like aliasing and crumping and whatever he wants to call it. All these things are things that you shouldn't see in an equalizer made in 2021, 2022, 2023. And, for me, it's one of those things where it's like, no, if that's what that equalizer did, I want my equalizer to do the same thing because I don't give a shit what it does. What I care about is how it sounds and how it makes me feel when I turn the knobs. And they are both very gratifying knobs to turn. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I'm right there with you. Yes, they should not mess up Metro Kalo channel strip. And those guys are so smart that I don't think that they ever could. The only thing that I know that they've done is they've done some they've thrown around some graphics on how it could look a little bit newer or different. But even then, I want to go back to the old one. Give me Metro Kalo channel strip version 1 so I can make it purple again.
Yeah.
Damn, throwback.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go. Their stuff's great too. Their multiband is my go-to for a lot of stuff.
That is wonderful to hear. So do you have the whole production bundle then?
Of course, yeah. Probably 10 years or whenever it came out, whenever they announced it, I probably was like, yeah, I'm getting that. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you rock any of the other plugins?
De-esser sometimes, but I have so many de-essers. I'm weird with it when it comes to de-essing. Like
put me on to my favorite de-esser.
The Hoffa.
Good. Yes.
Let's go, baby. Yeah, that one's sick. But yeah, I used even like their delay plugin is great, right?
That's what I was about to bring up. I think that dirty delay is tremendous.
Agreed.
It's like H delay with an actual filter I can see. It's
yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
I actually just bought H delay. I've gone all these years without it, and I was like, all right, it's $30. Let's see what the hype is. I haven't used it yet, but I bought it.
You know, the only thing that makes H delay special, in my opinion, is the lo-fi button. Like
Mm,
everything else you can get away with doing. And don't get me wrong, it's a very easy delay to set up, you know. But the lo-fi button is like, okay, that's H delay. I'm going there. You know,
yeah,
I've been trying to incorporate dirty delay back into my work a lot more. You know, one, I like it, and two, I like supporting the guys. So I
sure.
I've been
Absolutely.
spending more time with the production bundle. And I will say, you know, there's some cool plugins that are coming up. Super Gate, Super Chorus. Those are really, really cool plugins. I'm excited to see what you think about them.
I'm always down for a new chorus. Chorus
Yeah.
is like, oh man, especially right now, I feel like a lot of people are utilizing it in pop in like really cool ways. Not just like, hey, here's an effect, but it's like, here's like a mood, here's like a moment, right? And so I'm always down for a new chorus because it can really set, set the stage for a moment in a record. And yeah,
What courses are you using right now?
uh, for a mood, the Tal Juno 106
Yeah.
one on. Yeah. Yeah. That's been just when I think course, that's the first one that pops in my head. And then of course you have like clean courses, but just like stock stuff you can get away with.
So do you put the Tal Juno on your all keyboards bus and then just like turn it on a bridge to make a reverb or to make it sound like a weekend record?
I'm super into committing, so I would probably just print that part and then just slap it on there. But what I think a lot of people sleep on is putting it on reverbs. There are whole records where I will put a chorus on the entire reverb bus or the all effects bus, so even including the delays, and it just gets this dreamy, moving thing. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's a vibe, especially when the verbs are filtered and it's just, oh man, it's so pretty. I love it.
Well, and when you use that Tal one, it's got that wide thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could see that being nice on the whole effects bus
And
thing.
you double it up too by hitting, but you enable both the first and the second stage of it. Crazy,
That's
crazy.
cool.
Yeah.
So tell us a trick that is a Seth Munson trick. Like we want the internet to know this is your fucking trick. You came up with it, and if anyone else claims this trick, they're a dirty liar.
Oh man, a trick. Let's see. There's one that I don't really talk about, but it's like pretty crucial to getting one loud records and two getting your low end to just be huge as fuck. And I do an LFO on both my bass and my mix or my melodics bus. That's affecting everything below 120, and that's it. And it's just being triggered by the kick, right? And so every time the kick hits, everything below 120 that you can't audibly hear on like a phone, a laptop, these shitty speakers, it's just getting completely ducked out for that entire thing. It's just a side chaining trick, but it's like people try to use like EQs or compression to do that, and it just, I don't know, I feel like they just don't get it right.
So you said LFO. So are you using LFO tool from like Vengeance, or who are you using for that?
I'm using there's this company called Devious Machines, and they have this plugin called Duck, and it's just because they have a split section where you can like a crossover where you can control where the crossover happens, and so I just put it like super low, and yeah, it's just on by default on all my templates. I don't even open the plugin. It's just good. And that's like one thing that I think people sleep on completely is like doing little tricks like that just to get more loudness, because there's not as much voltage happening when the kick hits versus if we were just stacking all of that information below 120. And it's quick, it's fast. But I try to line it up with the how modern kicks, the length of modern kicks. So that's kind of like the starting
so
point.
is it a bell coming down, or is it a whole shelf?
It's just volume. So everything below 120 is getting completely ducked out while the kick hits.
And that's
everything.
That's happening on the bass, everything,
and everything except for vocals and drums. Well, yeah, doesn't happen on drums, but so anything that's melodic, that it's an instrument that's happening to.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's something I've not talked about anywhere. So
And that
there you
helps
go.
you get records.
I didn't even know that.
That helps you get records at -3.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
So I typically don't always have the mix knob at 100 on that. They're probably at like 80. Those ones that need to get to like -3, yeah, I'm cranking it all the way up. Absolutely.
Okay, well, that's great. That's the Seth Munson trick. Anybody who says that they were doing that is
Liars.
a liar.
Dirty liar.
But it's hard to find. It was hard to find. I've been wanting this for a long time, and it's hard to find an LFO that will let you do it in like a multi-band mode or that has some sort of crossover point. Because most are like all or nothing. It's like a single band, right? And you're controlling the entire frequency spectrum for that moment of time. And I was like, oh, I don't want that. I just want this part to move. Like I just want the low end to
Well, so
get
there's a
fucked up.
plugin I brought up. There's a plugin called LFO something from Vengeance that's like that. You know,
Yeah, LFO tool by X for Records.
no, well, there's LFO tool from Expert Records, but there's another one. There's a company called Vengeance. Have you ever heard of
Yeah,
them?
yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's vintage.
Yeah, yeah, they make one. There's another one that I've always been curious about. I've never like really fucked with it, but there's some plugin that Rich Cossey says is his background vocal sound that's a Vengeance plugin.
I believe it.
Yeah.
If you told me Serban was only using Vengeance stuff, I'd believe it too.
I
Like-
swear to God, I think that man is using Metric Halo channel strip and the CLA 76 and just going to town.
Yep. Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah, because I mean, in pop music, you know, you've already brought it up earlier in the conversation, but you know, everybody wants to talk about compression. Compression is not needed in pop music for the most part. You know, a lot of those people know how to track a vocal, you know, and they're tracking it well with compression, and everything else is just fucking straight lines coming out of a synthesizer or a drum machine. You're adding
It's already there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's already there. Plus, you
So-
got to think a lot of samples are pre-processed. Why am I going to do more to it? Sure, you have to fit it in. I get that, but that's an EQ thing. That's not like if it's not snapping enough or it's sustaining too long, pull a different sample. Like that's it,
Yeah.
right? Just find a better sample selection. That's it.
That are you
Um,
ever triggering pop drums and kick? I mean, kick pop drums. Can't talk right now. Pop kick drums.
Yes, but not. I would say maybe 10% of the time.
So do you have a set of samples? So what I have, you know,
Mhm.
is I got a set of 2 samples that I use to add typically to the shit that comes over. So it's like
Yep.
one
Exactly.
of them I got that, and I'll filter that motherfucker at 70, 65 hertz almost every day and then turn it up, you know, and it's
Mhm.
just low end. And it's like
Yep.
the low end from a 707 or a 909, you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
modern, solid low end that I can add to any of the vibe of someone's drums. Do you have some shit like that?
Absolutely. So, man, fuck, this was like 2017. I met up with the Drum Forge guys. I don't know if you guys know them. But they asked me to design a bunch of like pop sample stuff for them. And I came up with this cool idea of, because a lot of like dance kicks are made up of like multiple samples, right? There's one for like the body, there's one for the sub, there's one for the click. And I was like, we should do this, but for pop music, but like make it like universal. Like there's something for everyone. That never came out because we went into was like developer hell essentially. Like they got caught up in like their current projects and it just never happened, so we started doing actual samples. So I have an entire library that is made up to be combined with other things. So yes, and I'm constantly using that. No one has it except for me and I guess the Drum Forge guys. And so that's kind of like one of my little secret hidden things,
If
because
you
I'm
let
like,
me get that, I'll give you Dr. Dre's. He's got a bunch of fucking samples that are just like that are all clicks and pops that you can tell he just
Yep.
puts on top of kick drums.
sure, I will send it. But that's exactly how I use it. And it's not even just kick drums. Snare needs a little more snap. Oh, I got a little click for that. Clap
Yep.
needs a little bit more noise. Oh, I have a noise sample for that, right? It's all of that kind of stuff. So yes, but my thing is I want to be like invisible as a mixer, right? I don't want to be heard. I don't want to have like a sound. So I'm always trying to just enhance what like the artist or the producer or the team, whatever they send me, I'm just trying to enhance that. So I'm really trying to just shape what they're doing, but not change it. So I find what works for what they're trying to go for, or what I think they're going for, and I just slowly blend in. Same thing that you're talking about. Like You know, like, hey, this needs a little bit more of X. Well, I got X and I'm putting it in. But you're not necessarily just removing what they did in their creative stuff.
Can I
That's
tell you
fine.
my can I tell you my vibe?
Yeah.
I have a little thing that I do when it comes to working with a new client for the first time. And I'll typically do it in the bridge, but what'll come down is like I'll put on some like sauce or something creative in the first mix that I do with them in that bridge. And you'll get a phone call after that and it'll go one of two ways. Hey man, I think the mix is awesome. Whatever you did in the bridge, that's next level and I love the vision. That's
Mhm.
great. And then you know, like you can flex a little bit of creative muscle when it comes to their music, or they'll
Yep.
call you and be like, the mix sounds great, but there's some like weird fucking shit happening in the bridge. Can you take that out of there? And then you're just like, yes,
Yep.
okay. They
Yep.
want you to ride that 5-10% line. You know what I mean?
Yep. I mean, now that's like when I'm talking to a new artist before I even get files, I'm asking those questions. How hands-on do you want me to be? Because I can completely be hands-on and mold this into something that I think would be cool, or I could be hands-off and just enhance what you do and make it sound better than what it is. What do you want? Right. And it's gone pretty well going it in that direction just because I know going into it what they want. But every now and then they're like, be hands off. And if there's something that I think needs to happen, I'm doing it. I don't care. I'm doing it. And then I give them my reasoning why. Because it's like, look, it sucks. It sucks the way that you want it because of X, Y, and Z. This is my solution to that. And so it goes well. Yeah.
Okay. Did you always say Z, or did you ever refer to it to X, Y, and Z in your life, or is it always Z?
Oh, no. It's always been X, Y, and Z. But I work with so many international people that I think I've just got, I've heard it so
I've
much.
been hearing this X, Y, and Z thing all over the place, and I was like, is it just me?
Yeah, I haven't heard.
Yeah, sorry. My old manager is from the UK, and I picked up a lot of habits just from conversations and stuff, just from that. So yeah, I don't know. If you want me to stop, I'll stop. You just say
No,
the
no,
word.
no. We're just over here judging
Z,
you and stuff,
motherfucker, Z.
you know.
Yeah, Z.
But so Seth, was it difficult? Because like we both came from like metal background at first, right? What was the process of learning to not fuck up the mix by employing your vision too hard on it? Because metal world, we are the rough mix. Like you don't get like we have to choose the fucking samples. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like where was that division for you where you're like, I'm just mixing it like fucking all the top dudes do by like not doing anything and just making it better.
I don't know. I think it was when I would get calls from when I was working on bigger projects, and I get calls and they would ask me why I fucked it up. Right. And I'm going, what do you mean? I'm just mixing how I know how to mix. You replace everything, you use amp sims, and right. I'm like, well, where's the MIDI file for the drums? I don't get it. Right. And I don't know. I think it was just a natural thing just over the last, however, 8 years of doing pop stuff, that it's kind of just been like a natural progression into me being a little bit more hands off. I don't know. Like, I don't think there was any like actual turning point though. I don't think there was like a moment where I was like, oh, I should be doing less. I'm doing way too much.
I feel that.
No,
Yeah.
I can fully appreciate that. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Seth.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we should hang out more often, huh?
Yeah.
I need to drive up there and come hang out with you guys. I think it'll be fun.
You are always welcome, man.
Yeah, and you guys too. Like I said, there's a guest bed and bath here for the studio. So whenever you guys want to break, hit me up. Come and kick it.
Oh, hey,
hella down.
We're gonna take you up on that offer. You watch.
I hope so. That for real. Like, yeah, let's do it.
Awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, you have a wonderful day.